I think the main thing is that they don't make all the design decisions up front. Quite often clients will go, oh, do you know what, I'll decide that later, I'll decide that further down the line. I always try and make as many decisions up front before we even start on site. Okay, there's always going to be one or two things that you haven't worked out, but the more design decisions you make up front, the more you coordinate it, get it drawn, and make sure it's all being project managed by someone who really knows what they're doing. It's worth everything. Honestly, quite often I'll say to the guys in the office, this doesn't go out until everything's decided on. All right, as I said, there might be one or two things that we haven't, but the more decisions you make up front, it just makes everything easier. And you've got to make them at some point, so the sooner you make them, the better. Everybody then knows what they're doing. You know, when you're doing construction work on your house, it's quite a linear process. You know, you've got to do some structural work, and then you've got to put in the services and the electrics and the plumbing and all of your first fix, and then the second fix happens once all the installation work's been done, and certain things can only happen when first jobs have been done. So it's linear and sequential. So the more you go through those sequences and plan out every single thing, and I'm talking from doors to windows to plug sockets to your taps, the more decisions you make up front, the better. I think success is putting the right team together, you know, working with good professional people, working with good manufacturers, working with good products. I genuinely think you should try and avoid going cheap. Some people think, oh, you know, that's cheap, I'm just going to go for that. You need to go for the best value for money, and you need to go for the best quality you can afford. And I know that's difficult sometimes because you're juggling your budget on an entire home renovation, and you're thinking, should I spend more money on that, or do I spend more money on that? But quality products are everything. I mean, absolutely everything. If you're going to do your house up and stay there for many years to come, you want those products to stand the test of time. And I'll always say that. Go for quality as much as you possibly can. Of course, you don't want to put yourself under financial pressure, but you don't want to go cheap, where you then have to replace something in 3 years' time. You don't want to be thinking about replacing anything ever, if I'm honest with you. If you put in good doors, good windows, good garden pergolas, I mean, that will last 20, 30 years. If it's really well looked after, it will last a long, long time. Go for one of the cheaper pergolas on the market, it's going to last you 5 years if you're lucky. And that's just a waste. It's a waste of money for you, it's a hassle for you, and it's terrible for the environment. Because it basically means you're just buying something, chucking it away in 5 years' time, and having to replace it with something else. Have something that lasts 25, 30 years. It's good for you, good for your budget, good for the environment as well.